Welcome back to the Film Optimist, everybody. Tonight I watched the newest film, We Live in Time, starring Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. This movie tells the story of their little slice of life that they have over the course of a couple years, where when we first meet them, we see them fall in love, we see them talk about having kids and eventually having kids, and then it leads to Florence Pugh's character eventually getting cancer. I don't want to say any more about the plot of this film. If you want to know any more, go and watch the trailer on YouTube. But for now, I just want to talk about this film and how unique it is. This film is told in a very unconventional way, where usually it's told in 3 acts that are all linear in time, where you start the movie where they don't know each other and they first meet. We get to watch them fall in love, then they have a kid, then one of the characters gets sick, and then you spend the 3rd act of the film kind of just depressed the whole time. Whereas in this movie does this brilliant thing where it plays with time almost like it's a Christopher Nolan film, where you start the movie with something really happy and uplifting with them first meeting, and it's really cute and it's funny, and then it goes forward in time to when they're sitting in the doctor's office and Florence Pugh's character is getting the prognosis of her cancer, and it's really heavy. And then it jumps back in time to them on their first date and how much fun they're having, and it's cute and it's funny. And then it jumps forward to them talking about whether or not she wants to go through with the treatment or not, because she doesn't know if it's just going to be a waste of time, and it's really heavy and it's sad. And then it goes back in time to them finding out that they're having a baby, and it's just really happy and uplifting. And then it goes back in time again to something really sad. And it goes back and forth, and it sounds disjointed as I say it to this camera right now, and that it wouldn't work, but it really does, because it doesn't let you sit with the sadness for too long without reverting to something happy again. And I thought that that was a really smart way to make you not just fester in sadness for an hour, and more appreciate their love story, even towards the very end of the film where they're still focusing on it because it's jumping back to it. But who is this movie for? Because it isn't your typical Hallmark fairy tale love story. This is very much a romantic drama, but so was Anyone But You, kind of. But this movie goes heavy. It gets really heavy and really sad, where something like Anyone But You kind of know how it's going to end. This movie kept me wondering really how they were going to end it, and it took me by surprise. If you are not about really heavy subject matter, if you're not about people being sick and the process of that, and watching characters face that dilemma, then this is not for you. I don't mind that, especially because out of that darkness, you get some really great performances, which you do here. Like I said, it is a romantic drama, and the drama hits so well here, and that's really because you believe the chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. It is electric. I'll even go as far as saying it is the best on-screen romance I've seen in a very long time. Better than It Ends With Us, better than Anyone But You, better than... Don't see a lot of romantic comedies. I am convinced that they have actually fallen in love, and what we saw was not acting, but real, raw emotion. I read an article and heard from a friend that the intimacy coordinator had to step in and telling them that they were being too much. It's just explosive, and I bought into so fast that these two people could fall in love, and I bought their love story, and it makes the heavier scenes that much more hard to watch, because you just believe that Andrew Garfield is devastated about this news, that you're actually watching someone in love learn this information about their significant other. And it's a testament to how great of actors these two are. Now, they're both asked very different things in this movie, and they kind of swap the roles, where usually the woman's the one having to bear the burden and the sadness of their significant other getting cancer. Here, the roles are swapped, and Andrew Garfield is in the role of having to bear that heavy load, and whereas in Florence Pugh's character is very strong in this movie, and she's kind of thick-headed and doesn't want people to know that it's affecting her. She doesn't want to show people that she's sad and in pain. A lot of the emotional aspects from this film come from Andrew Garfield's character, where he is a very emotional character in this. He cries very easy. He cries even over happy things, like just like seeing her succeed in her dreams. Like, he's just tearing up and he's getting emotional for her. He's very soft-spoken. So like I said, they're asked both a lot in different aspects, where she's asked to be this very strong-willed person who has a big battle ahead of her. Andrew Garfield has to deliver the emotional side, and they both just nail it. They nail it so well here that I'm honestly contemplating telling you I think it's the best performances either of them have ever given. I mean, look, I've seen almost all the movies they've been in, all the Spider-Man films, Dune, Black Widow. Look, I've seen all these movies. This is their best performance. I haven't seen Silence with Andrew Garfield, the Martin Scorsese film, so maybe that one's better. I don't know, but I haven't seen that one. So I'm going to say that this, to me, is my best performance from both of them. This movie could have been 2 hours of them just sitting in a room and talking, and I still would have loved it because I just loved watching their chemistry on screen together. I want to see more of it now. That being said, like I said, it is not a Hallmark movie, and when it gets heavy, it gets really heavy, and this movie goes into some really dark places. And I'm not going to spoil the ending here, what happens. I'm not going to say it's happy, I'm not going to say it's sad. All I'm going to say is I do not like how they wrapped this film up. I walked out of this feeling dissatisfied, if you will. But that's only like the last 2 minutes of the film, in which case I loved everything else. The only other gripe I really have with it is Florence Pugh's character is kind of an asshole in this film to Andrew Garfield sometimes. That's like a little too over the top. Again, like I said before, she is playing this very strong-willed, thick-headed person that doesn't want to show the world that she's in pain. But there are times where Andrew Garfield brings up something very reasonable that's upsetting him, and she just snaps at him and explodes. And this is even before she gets the cancer. It's just like her character doesn't like to be like questioned. And I'm just like, just mean. It's just really mean. I don't know if I would deal with that. Put those two things aside, the fact that I didn't like the last 2 minutes of it, and there's some times where I felt like she was being mean to Spider-Man, I really enjoyed this movie. The performances are out of this world, like straight up Oscar worthy. At least a nomination, if nothing else. The direction, the cinematography, the story itself, it's all beautiful. And really at the end of the day, yes, there is a love story in it. And yes, there is a story about cancer, but there's just such a beautiful meaning underneath it all about what we choose to do with the time that we're given, who we choose to do it with, and what we make most important. And I thought that taking away that message was really, really lovely, and I can't recommend seeing this movie enough to all of you people, at least the people that are willing to sit through something that has someone that has cancer in it. I know a lot of people don't like sitting through movies with subject material like that. It's totally fine. My girlfriend's one of them. She did not want to see this movie because of that. But if you could handle something like that, I really think you're going to enjoy this movie. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have I given you a reason to go to the movies this weekend to see it? If not, let's talk about it. If I have, let's talk about it. And if you've seen it already and you love their performances like I did, let's talk about it in the comments down below. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great weekend ahead of you, and I'll catch you next time.